Our previous gardening experience was growing 2 tomato plants in a grow bag while staying at an RV park. This is the first year of gardening on our homestead in Vermont. We started with a single 4-foot by 8-foot raised bed that we built out of our spruce logs from our property. We are in growing zone 4B, and this is how it went. This is our ramp patch, and today for the first time I cut a few leaves, and instead of adding garlic to the guacamole I added chopped up these leaves, and these are kind of wild leeks, I think, and they taste kind of between onion and the garlic. Very interesting taste, and it was really delicious. Our garden is doing really well. Tomatoes are growing really fast, that they're actually starting to get too tall for this deer netting. But today I'm going to harvest the first plant, which is going to be green onions. Zucchinis are doing great. I think I'll need to thin them. Here we have the first batch of spinach, and the second batch of spinach is also coming up. Marigolds started flowering. Arugula, radish, carrots. The peas are starting to fall, so I think they need a trellis very soon. And then these 2 squares have cucumbers, but I don't see them coming out yet. Oh, actually no. Right here, cucumbers starting coming out. Every day the garden is doing better and better. Today it's finally time to harvest some kale. Also harvest some green onions for the salad. This is fascinating. I just noticed this. So this kale, something has been eating the leaves here. But this kale also has leaves on the ground, and there are no holes here. And then this one, the third plant, also has holes in the ground. And the common thing is, this one doesn't have wood chips down. This one doesn't have wood chips down, where the holes in leaves are. But the one that has wood chips down does not have them. I just ran out of time last time I was trying to put the wood chips on, so I think I need to put the wood chips down everywhere that is not covered by wood chips yet. It is June 13th and we have our first harvest of strawberries. I got these plants from the nursery and they already had flowers on, so that's probably why they came so early. But this makes me very excited to grow a lot more strawberries in future years. So we have added a trellis. Matt added these 4 posts, they're 2x4s. And then we had rebar laying around, so we put rebar, 2 rebar pieces through the top. And then we have cross pieces. And then on those, I can attach a twine, which I've done here. And I twined the tomatoes, the peas, and a bell pepper plant. And then for whatever reason, my cucumbers that I sowed from seed didn't come up. So I bought a starter from a nursery. It came with like 4 plants in a pot, so I didn't try to split it out. And actually the lady at the nursery said that they are designed to kind of clump together and grow together for pollination purposes. So I left them here like that. And then as they grow taller, then I will trellis them up as well. Otherwise, the garden is doing pretty well. Oh, and we also added this deer netting all the way around. We definitely have seen deer around here, very close to the garden beds, so this should really help. I've been harvesting kale and green onions and spinach, and tomatoes are growing well. When we installed the trellis, unfortunately, we stepped on the tomato and half of tomato top kind of broke off, but it's still growing. It's smaller than other tomato plants, but I think it will be fine. Oh, just small baby carrot. I mean, radish.
How is it?
Good. I think it could have ripened a little bit more.
That's so good.
Compared to store-bought ones, some flavor.
You cannot get a fresher tomato than that. Pick it, eat it. I like it.
It is end of September here in Vermont and it's starting to get cooler and the winter is definitely coming. So I thought I would give you an update on our garden. This summer we've been focusing on building, so I actually haven't been able to spend that much time in the garden, and given that, I'm actually quite impressed of how it turned out. So to recap, it is a 4x8 raised bed and I filled it using hugelkultur inspired methods. So where at the bottom I have big logs and branches and so on, and I think that worked despite me not watering as much as I probably should have watered, especially since this year was kind of more of a drought year. It still stayed pretty moist. I also used wood chips, so that also helped to retain the moisture, and it was a square foot kind of method of placing the plants in the bed, and I also really like the square foot method, and I will continue doing that. So now let's see how each of the plants that I planted did. Some did well, some did not so well. So I had planted 3 tomato plants, and those actually did really well. They produced quite a lot. The cherry tomatoes, we just ended up eating just straight from the plant, and this was a Roma tomato. This is the early girl, and I think now there's only green ones left. I think I already harvested some of these, and I think I'll harvest these so that they ripe on their own, because it feels like now at the end of the September they're probably not gonna ripen anymore. So I'm very happy with how the tomatoes turned out, and the tomatoes tasted so good. So much better than the store-bought ones. Oh, by the way, this deer netting, it worked really well. Didn't have any problems with animals getting in here. So let me get in here, show you this. So here I had a spaghetti, squash, and a zucchini, and they did flower. They did flower, but they just did not produce the fruit. Just too bad. And maybe I planted them too late, so they didn't have enough time. But the flowers are still on, and there were flowers that already kind of flowered. It just never produced the fruit. I don't know why. It could be because they didn't have enough sunlight, or I didn't water them enough. So that's a shame that did not grow as planned. In this square here, I had a second set of spinach planted, but that just bolted and didn't really grow. This is spinach here. These marigolds, they were pretty and they grew well, and I cut some and put fresh cut flowers in the RV, so that was really nice. The cauliflower did grow, and it was kind of medium, maybe smallish size, about this size, purple head, and I think I left it on for a little bit too long before harvesting. It grew, it worked, and I was very happy with the result. Green onions grew really well, and I've been eating them all summer long, so those worked out really great. And then kale, these 3 kale plants, They've been growing really well the whole summer, and I've been eating all this kale. Although I still could have eaten more. So I'm very happy with how the kale turned out. Then here we have arugula. It didn't really grow that large, but the little bit that I had, it was really, really peppery. A lot more peppery than the store-bought arugula. The radishes didn't quite grow that well. I think the mistake I made there was that I didn't thin them out, and same thing for carrots. I thinned them probably way too late. I'm surprised the cabbage did not grow at all. This is all it is that the cabbage did, so that's too bad. The bell pepper, Purple Beauty, we did have 2 small bell peppers and very, very pretty color. But they were about this size, so I'm not sure why they didn't grow larger. Cucumbers did not really grow. Maybe I planted them too late, and maybe also didn't water them enough. Maybe that's why it didn't grow. These are leftovers from the sweet peas, and those did really well, and I really liked them. So I actually kind of ate them right from the vines because they're that good. It's interesting to compare the stuff in the pots. So the cauliflower in the pots just did not grow at all. The kale in the pot as well did not grow large at all either. The mint had a very slow start, but it's finally picking up. This was store-bought lavender, and it's the same size as it was in the beginning, so it didn't seem to grow that much at all. It's interesting that the bell pepper that's in the pot grew much later, and only now it has a small bell pepper on it. This is citronella to deter mosquitoes. And then these are sunflowers, and yes, they are too dense, I think, in this pot. But also I planted them quite late, and look at that, small sunflower heads are starting to form. But there was a big rain recently, so they're all kind of flopping down. So my first year of the garden, I think the results are mixed. Kale worked great, tomatoes worked great, green peas worked great, but everything else did not work. And it's a good learning lesson. And I think next year is definitely going to be better because now we have well, and I will be able to water it much more frequently. For next year, we'll definitely keep this garden bed, and then we'll see whether we have enough flat space and time to make another garden bed. From the strawberries, we got 3 strawberries, and then chipmunk ate all the other green ones, and they didn't produce more. But they've been really prolific at producing runners. So now I put these in pots, and I'll plant them in a raised garden bed. Next year, hopefully we'll have a lot more strawberries. Our herb garden has done really well, and I've been weeding the herbs all summer long. The chives, grown from seed, they grew really well. This is from a nursery that has grown well. It's a thyme. And then parsley and cilantro has grown well. Dill as well. Now it's all done. And basil also eventually did really well. So I'm very happy with the herb garden. These are my 2 hazelnuts that I still need to properly plant in their final place. Right now they're just in the pots, hiding in the mulch pile. Today I'm going to transplant the strawberry runners into our garden bed. I got 3 different varieties of strawberries, so I'll put them in 3 squares. I'll clean this one up and where the spinach was, and plant them there. We bought 3 plants and now we have 6 more strawberry plants. It'll be really interesting to see whether they will start producing strawberries next year. I bought 2 hazelnut trees earlier this year, and only now I'm getting around to transplanting them into soil. The first issue was to actually making space for them. So we brought some topsoil and covered it in wood chips, so now it looks really nice. And now I'm going to dig holes for them, maybe put some little bit of compost underneath, plant them. The soil here is a little bit acidic, so I think I will put some wood ash around the trees and cover them with and mulch them with the wood chips. I don't really know much about planting trees, but I really hope it works. The reason I bought hazelnut trees is because 1, I like to eat hazelnuts, and 2, where I grew up in Latvia, my grandparents, they had native hazelnut trees in the forest, and I just found them really fun to gather them and eat them. And hazelnuts do grow here in New England and Vermont, and they are okay with somewhat acidic soil, so I hope they really grow well here.
Cosa abbiamo fatto allora? Allora, prima di tutto siamo andati a Stresa per avere un po' di informazioni all'ufficio turistico.
So the forest soil where I'm planting the hazelnuts is pretty virgin forest soil, hasn't been amended or anything like that. So I'll try putting some more compost at the bottom of the hole where I'm putting the hazelnuts in. Unfortunately, this compost hasn't been completely broken down. We've been still adding to it. But at the same time, this compost has been going since the spring, or maybe like May or something like that. So it's, I guess, partially broken down. It shouldn't hurt the plants, so I might as well try it. And here we go, 1 hazelnut tree planted. Now onto the second one. So now I will gather some wood ash from the campfire that we've been using all summer long.
And here we go. I have 2 hazelnuts planted. And I'm very excited that these are the first trees that we have planted. And also they're the trees that should bear the fruit the soonest. I think already even within 3 years they can start bearing the nuts. So hopefully we'll see some hazelnuts in about 3 years. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to follow along our journey of building our dream home in Vermont.